20 years ago, I sat in a back row of a classroom in India, praying the teacher would not call my name. Not because I didn't know the answer, I usually did, but everything I knew in Gujarati, my mother tongue. And the front of that room, that felt like it belonged to the people who spoke a different language. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raxit Jani, and this is the story of how far a person can travel, one uncomfortable step at a time. I studied in a Gujarati medium school all the way through the 12th standard. English was something that happened to other people. Then I walked into my Bachelor of Engineering, where suddenly everything, everything was in English. Textbooks, lectures, the professor. I understood the 40% of my first year and I smiled confidently through the other 60%. If you have ever nodded along in a meeting while having absolutely no idea what was happening, you and I are already friends. 4 years later, I came out with an engineering degree and a programming job. And here's the truth I discovered so fast. I did not want to sit in front of a computer all day. I'm the kind of person who wants to be out there, roaming, meeting people, going to events, conferences, and seeing the world. Sitting still was my personal punishment. And then one day, I saw him, a gentleman in my office, on a call with a client, speaking in this amazing accent, smooth, confident. The world just flowed. I stood there thinking, what is this man doing? And more importantly, how do I get his job instead of mine? So I asked him. He said, I'm in international sales and business development. I talk to the client around the world. I said, teach me, what do I need to do? And he gave me an honest answer I didn't want to hear. First, you need to fix your communication. You need to speak good English, start local, learn the ground game, and then one day you go international and international business development. He became a good friend and a mentor, and I took his advice, all of it. So, my first real sales job, I sold attendance machine and softwares. And when I say I learned the sales from the ground up, I mean it literally. I would start at 15-story building and work my way down, office by office, floor by floor, collecting the business cards and pitching to anyone who would listen. 15 floors every day. I didn't need a gym membership that year, but it was humbling. That building taught me the true foundation of sales: how to open a door, how to handle a no, and mainly how to keep walking to the next door when the last one crushed you. About almost after 2 years of that grind, I finally got my break, a role where I could train in international business development. This was it, the door I've been climbing forward. 3 months later, the company shut down its local office during the recession period, and guess who was the first person to be let go? This guy. There I was, the boy from a Gujarati medium school who had climbed 15 floors a day, would finally reach into international business, suddenly standing on a street with nothing. It would have been very easy to believe that front of that room was never meant for me after all. But I got a backup. I found another opportunity, and then another. And along the way, I noticed a pattern in my own career. I never joined the big famous $1 billion companies. I joined small companies, but that always give me big titles. And big titles at a small company means one thing: nobody is going to do it for you. You learn everything from the ground yourself. That, it turns out, was the greatest gift of my career. Every time I was thrown in the deep end, I learned to swim. That's how a Gujarati medium kid pivoted, stopped climbing other people's building, and started building his own. Two companies led from Seattle, halfway across the world from where he started. So, why am I sitting here in Toastmasters? Because I spent 20 years closing the distance between the back of the room and the front of it. I can lead a business, I can close a deal, but my next dream is bigger. I want to be up on the big stages, on the panels, in the conversations that move a room. And a wise man once told me, first you need to fix your communication. 20 years later, I'm still taking his advice. That boy in the back row thought the front of that room belonged to someone else. He was wrong. It belonged to anyone willing to keep walking, one uncomfortable step at a time. Thank you.